by my partner in crime.
Hi there. My name is Andrea. I am Paradise Move's Slam Coordinator. That doesn't mean a whole lot to many of you, but basically I coordinate the workshops that we put on. It's how we found a lot of our performers. It's how we developed a lot of our material. And since enough is kind of a continuation of that, I'm here facilitating the programming. Woohoo!
Awesome. So before we talk about anything else, we just want you all to take a minute and feel the feels. What that means is go into your feelings right now and feel them. Sound good? Andrea's going to tell you what to do from there.
Yeah. Basically, we want to hear from the audience one-word responses to how you're feeling right now. Things that it's bringing to your mind, the first word that's on your mind as you're checking in with yourself. And Jana and I will be bringing the microphone to you as we ask you to share. So raise your hand if you have a one word you'd like to share with us. And if the person says a word that you're also feeling and connecting with, give us the snaps so we can kind of hear from everybody who's resonating with you.
Andrea and I learned our lesson last year when we just jogged all around the room, so hopefully each of us will work one side and that will survive the evening. Okay. Anybody? One word.
Real.
Real.
Vulnerable. Vulnerable.
Go double.
Yes.
Yes.
On my side, so Jerry doesn't have to.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah, I got a ball yesterday.
Freed.
It's fine. It's all.
Hopeful.
Everyone feels like they've got their one word? Okay. So, this is just a little bit of a caveat. We recognize that this is currently a mixed group, but Andrea and I are going to facilitate a little bit differently than we have before. Because this is enough junior, we're going to treat you as a room full of teenagers. Congratulations. For many of you, welcome back. You look good. For others, you've still got time. Don't rush. But with that said, just, get in the mindset for a sec or two. So we love this piece, and we feel like we know a lot about it. But maybe you see different things than we do, and we really appreciate that. So I want everybody to just take one moment and think first to themselves, what's one thing that I saw or I felt that is going to stay with me? One thing I saw or felt that is going to stay with me. And once you think of that one thing, I want you to turn to the person next to you and share it with them. And then you can pick a speaker, and I will ask for any speaker volunteers, okay? So the first part, you gotta participate, turn to your partner, share, and we'll go from there. Sound good? Okay, one thing that is staying with you, that you'll take with you, that you're still thinking about. Ready, go. Okay, good. So anybody willing to share what your little mini group talked about? Something that is going to stay with you or you're going to think about? Anything? Anyone? Anybody? Mini group. There you go.
Hi. So we were just talking because we've seen a few renditions of this. So Connor was saying that he really loved the solo. We've seen like so many versions of it, and it's so cool to see it like culminate from the beginning to the end of the piece, but also from like where it was a few years ago to where it is now.
Can you tell the group what about this, since you are very familiar with the solo, what is it that has, what changed for you about it?
I don't know. I think just always the culmination to it, and then this time with the other elements incorporated, that was very cool. Yeah. It's just,
I just really also appreciate the decision with Justin. I really like that fleshed out. That was very helpful. And I really like your sparkly shoes, man.
Thank you.
This is a cluster of former cast members, which is why everyone else is laughing, because they were like, oh, well, we've seen it a couple of times. Yes, we miss you all. Anyone else? Yeah. You got this, girl. You run it.
Okay, so I really liked the part, I didn't like it, but I thought it was interesting how Tyler gave the main character the pills. It's like your mind can turn on you. And Duncan liked the part where Tyler did like the thing, it was kind of like his arm and his wife in his hand. I don't know, Duncan liked that part.
So the person they're referring to named Tyler is the character Justin's inner voice. Just for those of you who are not familiar. Oh, Noah, sorry. Noah's inner voice. So the Noah's here, Noah's inner voice is right there. So they're talking about that experience. Do you want to say anything about that?
In fact, I do. So when enough was done previously, we kind of focused on Noah as the main character, dealing with all these kinds of issues and things coming up. But in this iteration, we split up Noah and his inner voice and Justin and Justin's inner voice to carry the two themes of the show in parallel tracks, but separate people that kind of interacted with one another. And the journey and the conversations between Noah and Noah's inner voice really meant to carry the theme of mental health. As you can see, there were some pretty obvious moments of the battle that people who struggle with their mental health go through. Like was mentioned, Noah's inner voice was the one who tried to coax him into the decision he was faced with, and he fought against it. So we recognize that the journey of mental health is really that battle that was shown. The fact is, that's a battle that many young people, especially early to mid high school, go through. I think a lot of us can think back to our times in high school and be like, well, yeah, I feel that, because it's a very common thing. And the fact is, up to 2/3 of young people who struggle with their mental health never seek help and kind of struggle through things alone. So that's a big part of why that story to us had to be told, to give people an opportunity to see the journey, and that it's hard, but you can come out the other side in the end. And that's another reason why we brought in some new elements to the solo, because if you've seen the show previously, Noah's coming out the other side is a really inspiring dance solo, and as much as we believe in the healing power of dance and art, we also recognize that that's not a realistic way to portray getting healthy when you're struggling. So we brought in elements of Noah speaking to his parents on this side, his therapist on the other side, ultimately leading him through to a healthier self in the end.
Sometimes dance is not enough.
Yes, it can be a big part of the journey, but not often the dance solo alone is what's gonna do it. But we did also want to use this opportunity advocate for some resources that you see here up on the screen. So for the theme of mental health, we have the Samaritans Helpline. I'm actually a Samaritans volunteer. I've been doing that for about a year now. So if you call, maybe you'll get me and we can chat, and it'll be great.
That's not a reason to call. She's busy working,
Yes.
but if you need to.
But I also wanted to take a chance to kind of, like, you see that number all the time. A lot of people think, you know, geez, I'm not in crisis. I am not kind of at the very brink right now. I have no reason to call. And that's not necessarily the way it works. That phone line is open 24 hours a day. Most of the time, I'm just talking to people about what they're feeling, what they're struggling with, just to kind of get them through those tough moments. So just to make sure that everybody's aware of that, if you've ever thought about calling that line, I suggest it, and I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to know more at any time after the show.
Thank you for doing that. By the way, that's Andrea's volunteer work, so thank you. Okay, did you want to say something?
Yeah.
This pair?
So a part that stuck with us was that, so a lot of times, like in these moments in our lives, it feels like we're the only person and we're alone,